This is KPFK Los Angeles, and good evening. Welcome to another hour with Alan Watts. We have two talks from Alan today. First, from the Philosophy East and West series, one of the most beautiful of all the Alan Watts programs. Alan Watts reads A.K. Kumar Swami's Sahaja, which is on sacred, secular, and romantic love. And then in about half an hour, from the Summer of Love set, we're going to hear Psychedelic Experience, Part 1. So here is Alan Watts with a very special half hour, A.K. Kumar Swami, Sahaja.
This evening I'm going to invite another absent guest to my program. This guest, absent not so much in space as in time, the late Ananda Kumaraswamy, sometime a research fellow at the Boston Museum of Fine Arts, and one of the most celebrated scholars and sages of the 20th century, of mixed parentage, British and Sinhalese, a truly universal man who combined enormous scholarship, artistic sensibility, philosophical insight, and practical dexterity, both as a great gardener and a marvelous fisherman. This is his essay entitled Sahaja, approximately translatable as spontaneity. The last achievement of all thought is a recognition of the identity of spirit and matter, subject and object. And this reunion is the marriage of heaven and hell, the reaching out of a contracted universe towards its freedom in response to the love of eternity for the productions of time. There is then no sacred or profane, spiritual or sensual, but everything that lives is pure and void. This very world of birth and death is also the great abyss. In India, we could not escape that sexual love has a deep and spiritual significance. There is nothing in which we can better compare the mystic union of the finite with its infinite ambient. That one experience which proves itself and is the only ground of faith, than the self-oblivion of earthly lovers locked in each other's arms, where each is both. Physical proximity, contact and interpenetration are the expressions of love only because love is the recognition of identity. These two are one flesh because they have remembered their unity of spirit. This is, moreover, a fuller identity than the mere sympathy of two individuals. And each, as individual, has now no more significance for the other than the gates of heaven for one who stands within. It is like an algebraic equation where the equation is the only truth and the terms may stand for anything. The least intrusion of the ego, however, involves a return to the illusion of duality. This vision of the beloved has no necessary relation to empirical reality. The beloved may be in every ethical sense of the word unworthy, and the consequences of this may be socially or ethically disastrous. But nevertheless, the eye of love perceives her divine perfection and infinity, and is not deceived. That one is chosen by the other is therefore no occasion of pride, for the same perfection and infinity are present in every grain of sand, and in the raindrop as much as in the sea. Through such a relationship, however, and to reach a goal, to really progress and not merely to achieve an intimation, For this it is necessary that both the lover and the beloved should be of one and the same spiritual age and of the same moral fibre. For if not, as Chandidas says, the woman who loves an unworthy man will share the fate of a flower that is pierced with thorns. She will die of a broken heart. And the youth who falls in love with a woman of lower spiritual degree will be tossed to and fro in great unrest and will give way to despair. Because the stages of human love reflect the stations of spiritual evolution, it is said that the relationship of hero and heroine reveals an esoteric meaning, and this truth has been made the basis of the well-known allegories of Radha and Krishna, which are the dominant motif of medieval Hinduism. Here, illicit love becomes the very type of salvation. For in India, where social convention is so strict, such a love involves the surrender of all that the world values, and sometimes of life itself. When Krishna receives the milkmaids and tells them he owes a debt that can never be paid, it is because they have come to him like the Vairagi who has renounced his home. Neither their duties nor their great possessions hinder them from taking the way of Mary. The great seducer makes them his own. All this is an allegory, the reflection of reality in the mirror of illusion. This reality is the inner life where Lord, the milkmaids are the souls of men, and Vrindavan the field of consciousness. The relation of the milkmaids with the divine herdsman is not in any sense a model intended to be realized in human relationships, and the literature contains explicit warnings against any such confusion of claims. The interpretation of this mystery, however, is so well known as to need no elaboration.